But today's topic, I'm excited to talk about. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. It is transferable skills. Transferable skill is something that every athlete, especially basketball players, have, and I'm going to get into what that means. At a young age, I had the opportunity to go to a basketball camp run by the legendary Bob Hurley Sr., and he was addressing us, and I must have been about 13, maybe 14. I wasn't in high school yet. And he got all of us together, and he asked us, what is your transferable skill? And I was just like, my face, I'm sure, told, what my reaction was. And I was like, I have no idea. So he asked everybody to raise their hand. And he was like, do you know what it means? Do you know what transferable skill means? And, all of us raised our hand and said no. So he asked us at 13, he said, if wherever you're playing at, their season ended right now, what can you do well enough in your game that will get you productive minutes in a college basketball game? And that was something that just kind of blew my mind. It was, something that definitely a 13-year-old, wasn't thinking about at the time. But, I started to think about it, and I was just like, well, fortunately for me, at 13, I was already 6'3". So, and very long arms. So I was just like, you know what? I can play defense. I can rebound. So, that would get me minutes right now in a college or a high school basketball game. If I couldn't do anything else, if I couldn't remember plays, if I couldn't shoot the ball really well, just size, effort alone was at that time my transferable skill. As I got older, my game evolved and I became a much better, more well-rounded player and was able to do some things at the high school and college level. But that's what I want to talk about today. Now with everybody outside playing and practicing and going to their training sessions, it has to have a purpose. You can't just go out and just do meaningless drills and get nothing out of it. If you're just going out shooting around, shooting 10, 20 shots, and you think that's getting up shots today, that's not productive. That's not helping you. That's not helping your teammates. That's not helping your coaches. That's not helping anybody. So the transferable skill. Your transferable skill is something that you do well in your game. Most of the time, at an older age, around 12, 13, 14, you kind of know who and what you are as a player, and you kind of know the things that you do well naturally. So if your transferable skill is, let's take for instance, Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver has played in the NBA for 10 plus years. I watched him play in college. He was an amazing shooter, but not all the time, great college players become great pro players or stay long enough to leave a mark in the NBA or at any professional level. If anybody knows who Kyle Korver is not the most athletic guy. Kyle Korver is not the greatest ball handler. He has good size. He's, 6'6", 6'7", but his transferable skill, and I'm sure him and his coaches saw it at an early age, was his ability to shoot the ball. He is a deadly, deadly shooter, one of the greatest all-time shooters in the history of the NBA, in three-point shots made and overall percentage. I'm using him as an example because he's not, Klay Thompson or he's not Steph Curry, but he has a transferable skill that has allowed him to stay in the NBA 10 plus years and make a lot of money. He's perfected this transferable skill that he has. And it's hours and hours of practice. It's, it's hours of, redefining and fine-tuning your craft and your skill. I'm sure Kyle Korver had to be taught, how to shoot the proper way. and mechanics and footwork and, you know, release points and trajectory on his shot. You know, all those things, you know, went into his transferable skill, which now has made him a multimillionaire. Him and his family and his children are set for the rest of their lives. And, you know, it's just because of that one thing he can do well, Kyle Korver has always had a job. You know, he's been on several different teams, and the one thing they pick him up for is his ability to shoot, and that is his transferable skill. I'll talk about another player whose transferable skill is probably not the most attractive, you know, I would say, in sense of basketball. You know, most young kids, they want to be able to do the amazing things that a LeBron James can do, or, you know, be able to handle the ball and shoot like a, you know, Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, and that's great, or even a James Harden, you know, who has a combination of both. He is an amazing ball handler and he's an incredible shooter. But there are guys that are in the NBA, they get paid to do just one thing. You know, and another favorite player of mine, and he's also a Jersey guy too, shout out to Kenneth Faried, is his energy. You know, Kenneth Faried got drafted, you know, off of a first round game that he played in the NCAA tournament against Louisville. And his transferable skill was his ability to rebound, run the floor, and block shots. That's what got him drafted. You know, he was on a team that wasn't supposed to beat, you know, a loaded Louisville team, but his transferable skill, which he showcased on the biggest stage, got him the opportunity to get invited into pro camps and draft days and things of that nature, and he turned his transferable skill, which is hustle, rebounding and blocking shots, diving on the floor for loose balls, high energy. You know, these are not things that, you know, most kids, when they go to the park, they don't really display that, because like I said, that's not the attractive thing to do. You know, nobody is gonna really make a big deal about you diving on the floor for a loose ball, or, you know, getting an extra possession, you know, for a team on a rebound. The rebound itself shows up in the stat sheet, but the effort doesn't show up. But coaches and players, they understand how valuable that effort, which is a transferable skill, they understand how valuable that is, you know, to the game of basketball. Anybody that needs any help with their recruiting, please reach out to us at NHACG Hoops, HOOPZZ on Instagram. DM us, and also please, you know, look us up on YouTube. Well, now we have a YouTube channel, NHACG Recruiting. If you happen to see this video on YouTube, rather, please like and please subscribe. Everybody have a great day.